help is on the way. Here we got squaring off with the Shutes. I'm Tyler Shute, this is my brother Ryan, and some of the things we do here is we have square offs and pick-up players as long as going through the rankings to help you win this week in fantasy football. So first off, we're going to start off with our quarterback rankings. Alright Ryan, now we got the top 10 on the screen now, and who do you like on this top 10 list?
I love Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is going to give the Rams a really hard time. He's going to throw all over them. He's just a natural. He's coming off a great season of 4,000 plus. Did he have 5,000? He was pretty good. I know that.
It's pretty close.
He's going to give the Rams fits. He's the #1 guy this week.
Yeah, I like him a lot too, Ryan, and especially because he's on my fantasy team. But the guy I also like on this list is Jake Cutler. I think he's going to really have a good, strong season, especially with Brandon Marshall reuniting with them and against the weak Colts defense.
So a guy that is on the consensus top 10 is Michael Vick at #6. I'm not a big fan of Michael Vick this week.
I actually am a fan of Michael Vick, so I think it's time for a square off. Alright, now the square off is I take a side, Ryan takes a side, we argue about it. Alright, so now here we go. Why are you against Michael Vick?
I'm against Michael Vick because he hasn't had a whole lot of preseason time. I just think Michael's going to be a little rusty starting it off. Plus, we really haven't seen the Michael Vick that we saw during the 2010 season. Ever since that Minnesota game, he's just not reading the defenses like he is, and he's kind of reverting back to the run guy that we saw in Atlanta, which is a great playmaker, but I'm just not seeing it this week. I just think for some reason this very young, very athletic, very fast Cleveland defense, they're not a great defense, but young equals fast, and I think might give Michael Vick a hard time this week.
I actually like Michael Vick this week. I think the Browns' defense is a little weak, and the Eagles' offense is very explosive, so I think there's going to be big plays all day, especially with the Browns' offense not too strong, so that you figure it's going to be a lot of 3-and-outs. The Eagles getting the ball most of the game, so I think Vick's going to put up big numbers. I think he'll definitely be in the top 10 this week. As far as the rest of the season, I'm not sure, but I like him this week.
I think eventually Michael Vick will get it back. I just don't see it right away. Again, it goes back to not a whole lot of preseason time, a lot of injuries. He's always due to get hurt. We know he gets hurt every year. And again, I'm going to go back to, don't call that Cleveland defense weak. You can call them young, but young means fast.
Alright, so now that was our first square off. Now we're going to check out the rankings from 11 to 20.
So now, as we're looking over 11 to 20, hey Tyler, who do you like through 11 to 20?
11 through 20, I like, I actually like Joe Flacco a lot this week against the Bengals. I think he's going to put up some big numbers. I think that's actually going to be a little bit of a high-scoring game.
I think you're right about that, and I know we'll get the wide receivers later, but I need to touch on this because this will help Joe Flacco. Torrey Smith, he stretches the field. He's the first deep threat Joe Flacco has really ever had that's a true deep threat. Kid's got speed. He did a lot of damage last year. He can be a hit-or-miss guy, but Flacco can throw the long ball. We know he's got an arm, and this kid can stretch the field.
Yeah, I agree, and also I'm excited to see what Russell Wilson can do against the Cardinals, because Cardinals really, their defense isn't that great, but I think they'll be better than what some people think though. But I think Russell Wilson can have a good day.
Cardinals bad team. You know what? Sometimes these rookies in their first start, it could be beginner's luck or it could be the start of a great career. I think Russell Wilson's a good play. Now I'll tell you who I absolutely love this week. He's one of my big-time loves of the week. I like that Alex Smith against those Packers. People might think I'm crazy to see how high he is and how high I am on him. The Packers, they don't stop anybody.
I'm going to disagree with this, and now this is going to lead us into our second square off.
Going to square off with me on Alex Smith.
Yes,
Let me tell you something. Like I just said, the Packers can't stop anybody. Anybody. I can go out there and play for San Francisco. I'm throwing for 250, 300 yards on Sunday.
Alright, well here's the thing. With the 49ers, their strength is running the ball. The bottom line is if they're passing the whole game, the bottom line is the 49ers are not going to beat the Packers by just throwing the ball. It's in a shootout. It's not going to happen. The Packers are going to beat the 49ers easily if they do it that way. So I'm not saying I don't like Alex Smith. I'm just saying he's not a top 10 quarterback like you had him. I think he's easily in the 11 or 20. But I'm saying if he's going to throw the ball the whole game, then the 49ers are going to lose the game. That's obvious. They're going to lean on the running game, and they got to keep the ball from Rodgers. And how do you do that? By running the ball.
Well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Alex Smith has weapons he never had before. Michael Crabtree is starting to come into his own. Mario Manningham is a Super Bowl legend. You saw what happened last year. Hate to say it. Look at the colors.
Yeah, look at David Tyree, buddy.
Mario Manningham, Super Bowl legend. Oh, he's got way more talent than David Tyree. Mario Manningham has had a decent career for himself. And let's not forget, don't sleep on the old man, Randy Moss. The guy can still obviously run if he's going to play in this league. One of the best deep threats we've ever seen in this game. And I forgot, there's one more guy that usually does pretty good. Vernon Davis. You ever hear of that guy?
Yeah, I have.
That's why Alex Smith is a top play this week.
All right. So now we're going to head into to our tight end rankings. All right, now that we got the top 10 tight ends, who do you like on this list?
Well, I think the obvious, the top two, Graham and the Gronk. I mean, Jimmy Graham, he's the one-man band, and I think he's a hell of a weapon for Mr. Breeze down there in New Orleans. And the Gronk is the Gronk. I mean, 1,000 yards last year. He's built like a receiver. He's quick. And he's a phenomenal play this week.
The guy I love a lot this week is the ageless wonder, Tony Gonzalez. As he keeps getting older, he's just as good as he's ever been. And going back against the Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium, his original home, it's gonna be a lot of emotions. I think he's gonna do real well.
Big game for Gonzo this week. We should stop calling him Gonzo and even stop calling him Tony Gonzalez. We should just start calling him Fine Wine.
Yeah,
it's exactly what he is. So then at 3 and 4, we have Vernon Davis and Antonio Gates. Who do you like between the two, Ty?
I like both, but I like Gates a little bit better because I know he's healthy for the first time in a long time. I think he's going to get back to the way he was a couple years ago. And a Monday night game against the Raiders, I think there's going to be a lot of points. So I'm going to pick Antonio Gates.
He hasn't found it in a while. I like Gates a lot. Hopefully he can get back on track. But do I have to go over my love for the 49ers again? Vernon Davis is a beast. He is going to help Alex Smith. He's a security blanket. He's not just a security blanket. He goes downfield. He is the play. And again, the Packers don't stop anybody. What are the linebacking strengths of the Packers? Blitz, blitz, blitz. Not cover Vernon Davis. You ain't going to have to worry about a matchup between Clay Matthews and A.J. Hawk versus Vernon Davis because neither one of them is going to stop him.
All right, so now we're going to go to 11 through 15 on the tight ends now. All right, Ryan, so who do you like in the 11 to 15 list?
The 11 to 15, let's look at the very bottom. I know we barely have him on the list. How about that Fleener?
Yeah, I like him a lot. He was teammates in Stanford with Andrew Luck, and I think that's going to be Andrew Luck's go-to guy. So I think as the season goes on, I think he could definitely make the top 10.
And that's exactly right. Couldn't agree with you more. That's exactly why they picked him to be the security blanket, because he's been the security blanket for Luck for years. He will be the security blanket for years to come. But guess what? He's going to give some production.
All right, so now this is how much we value kickers and defenses. All right, so now we're going to grab the hat. All right, Ryan, what kicker do you like this week?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Please, Robbie Gold. Please, Robbie Gold. Please, Robbie Gold. Sebastian Janikowski. This guy can kick a football.
All right.
So now, we'll show you how high we value defense and special teams. Now, Tyler, who do you like for defense and special teams? Who do you want?
Doesn't really matter to me. We'll figure it out. All right, the defense I like this week is the Packers. And the Packers not only because they're going against his 49ers, but they're also on my fantasy team, and I think they're going to get their turnovers. They might not get that many points this week, but in the future they'll be all right because they're good at getting turnovers.
Let's just hope that those turnovers are the ones that help them win a 37-35 game.